Everybody, it's episode 11 of Aussie Mac Zone. How are you doing? Today is Tuesday, 27th of August, 2013, and it is brought to you by the Aussie Tech Heads web hosting. If you're after a nice little web space for your blog or business webpage, go and check out athwebhosting.com.au for some great little prices. Prices, yeah. And also thanks to IT Help for You down there in good old sunny Penrith. Go the Panthers. All right. They're authorised Apple reseller. So if you've got an Apple problem or you just want to buy an Apple computer or an iPhone or an iPad, all that sort of stuff, well, lucky you. Go down and chat to those guys at IT Help. Number 4, letter u.com.au, ithelpforyou.com.au. Now, I'm Glenn, and joining us on the panel, you'll hear from Garth, Warlock, and Jason. Let's go round the grounds, and we'll find out how Jason is first. How you doing, Jason?
I'm very well. How are you guys? Probably
bad.
a bit of a slow week, I think, as we edge towards this September 10th. I think we're probably nearly done out the rumours around iPhones, but the date isn't too far away now.
It's fast approaching, and
it is.
It is fast approaching. It'll be the 10th of September. That's US time, I guess. So that'll be probably the 11th morning, the morning of the 11th, our time. Would that be about right? I think so.
Yep,
something
so
like that.
Normally about 3 or 4 a.m. I think.
Something
for
like
those
that.
Devotees
Yes.
who want to get out of bed at that time.
And Warlock, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good, but I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. I can tell you that much.
No. Have you ever got up at 3 a.m. for any of these launches?
Yeah. I did actually, a few years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I got up. Let's say I didn't specifically wake up for it, but I woke up maybe half an hour before they were going to do an announcement of a new iOS that was coming out. And I was like, well, bugger it, I'm already up. I might as well log on and download the latest thing and see what they're streaming about and that sort of thing. So checked it out. But apparently the latest thing I was hearing is that Apple may or may not be asking people not to mention when they get their invitations to the new event.
Oh,
have to keep it a secret.
Okay, so that's a new one.
Yeah,
anything to get the buzz going. And Garth, how are you going?
Good, mate. How's it going, Glenn, Jace, Warlock?
Good. Now, what have you been up to? You've been, what are you doing?
Just
working hard?
Glenn, visual. Hey, no, I don't know about these blokes not wanting to get up at 3 a.m. Where's the
commitment?
Where's the commitment?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where's the commitment? I'm usually waking about 4:30, 4:45, and yeah, I'll be up. I'm usually waking about 4:45.
Yeah, okay.
4:30 anyway, so it's not much of a stretch for me to wake up a bit earlier.
And so why do you wake up at 2:45 or whatever it is? Is that because you want to be the first to, or you want to see it live? Or why is that? Why do you
always enjoy hearing that live thing, either the Twit version or the direct stream. I don't usually try and download the beta before I head off to work, but as I said, I'm always awake fairly early anyway, so it's not much earlier to wake up and just hear it live there.
It's the unique crackle in the live feed and the buffering and all the goodness that goes with it. You love it.
With the last one, I had pretty good luck, actually. I had, there's a lot of people who were sort of talking in one area and listening in another sort of thing. And I had pretty good luck. I had a good clean stream the whole way through.
Oh, good. Now, you might be wanting to catch up with us on Facebook. You can do so at facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads and also on the YouTube where you can see a replay of the episodes on video. Yeah. So that's at youtube.com/Aussie Tech Heads. That's if you don't watch us live in the lounge. And live in the lounge from 7:30 Tuesday nights at aussietechheads.com.au/live. Or if you've got a question or you've got some feedback for us, you can send that into feedback at aussiemaczone.com.au. Send us a question, send us a review, and don't forget, chuck a review up on iTunes or video and audio feed. And give us some loving, please. All right. Now, where are we going to go to? Look, it's just wall to wall, just about iPhone news this week. As Jason did mention before, it is fast approaching September 10, and the whole thing is going to be over and dusted about then. But iPhone news, where are we going here? Photos of alleged the graphite iPhone. All right. Who wants Jace? Do you want to grab that one?
A new colour, yes. On top of the
Another
champagne, we now have graphite.
Right.
I guess similar to what the iPad Mini looks like. So it could be a fourth colour choice in addition to obviously the black, white, and now champagne.
They're starting to come out,
and
aren't they?
That will obviously be in the 5S, I guess. So what's touted as being the premium version, because of course the other thing that's kicking around is the low-cost iPhone, being the 5C, which has many exciting colours coming out. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I think they've got to appeal to all the girls out there, haven't they? Bring out all these different colours. Because the white, I've always liked the black ones. I like the black iPhone. I can't see myself ever getting another colour. I don't think I like black.
What if the new ones are only graphite and champagne?
Yeah, look, the
there you go. That's.
Yeah,
then
I know the
got
graphite could
one.
replace the black.
Yeah, I was going to say the graphite.
People are going, look, he's obviously very rich because he's got the latest ones. There's no doubting that, because you can't get a black 5 or 4S or something.
Well, yes. So yeah, look, the graphite one doesn't look too bad. I could be twisted. Could be twisted. And the newly released video offers detailed look at the upcoming champagne iPhone 5S and low cost. So let's have a look at a graphic about that one. A new video gives a detailed look at Apple's upcoming champagne iPhone 5S, along with a close look at the blue low-cost 5C. So
it's not just pictures now, there's videos, but as you say, more of the same thing that we've been chatting about for the last few weeks. So it's, come on, just release it already. We want to see it.
Yeah.
Well, like we were saying last week, how low cost can they really go when they have to have something that's going to run iOS 7? It's going to have to run at least iPhone 5 resolution, have Siri. You can't throw out Siri because it's a mainstay of it. So I don't really think they can reduce it down to be like a super cheap device. It's probably just going to be a little bit cheaper and maybe lots of colors. It's like the almost like the Moto X of iPhones, because you fully customize whatever you like, kind of thing.
Well, probably similar to what they did with the iPad Mini. I would say that it's not down there competing at the lower end, but relative to other Apple prices, it's a lower cost Apple device, but still maybe at the higher end of the lower cost market.
Yeah,
it's the higher end. It's definitely the higher end of that market. That 7 to 8 inch market, isn't it? And yet, look at it was a iPad 2 processor, so they really did take a couple of steps back on the processor, not just one generation back, but 2 generations back from the current best processors they had. And I'm really interested to see what we do find with this 5C, because firstly, the price is going to be higher than everyone wants, and I think the internals are going to be less than everyone wants.
And there'll be no champagne because everyone's going to want champagne.
So
they'll still be drawn to
I'm
the 5S.
embarrassed to admit it. I am embarrassed to admit I would actually probably get the champagne if I was in that market.
If I was in the market for the next iPhone.
Yeah.
Well, the other interesting thing, though, is we're just seeing nothing now, even on iPads. It's all iPhones. So maybe some of those rumours fueled by, I guess, iOS 7 for iPad potentially being delayed means that, if September 10 comes to fruition, it's going to be an iPhone event and there'll be a later one for iPad.
Seems likely.
There'll still be other things kicking around because we're still waiting for the new chipset in the MacBook Pros. So there should be lots of goodies coming up already for Christmas.
And what about
iPod
the iPod
Touches?
Dinks!
Now,
maybe they'll get a bit of a bump up, and maybe they'll get some pretty colours. Who knows?
Now, well, they've got a couple of colours now, haven't they? But
it's hard to say where they're going to go there, isn't it? Again, I think, the iPod Classic still, with the hard drive, still kicks along. That hasn't been touched for a few years now. The iPod Nano, they sort of seem to iterate its form factor from small to large every year, so it's due to come back to being small again.
They keep changing their mind on that.
I don't watch.
My mum found
first time around though, it seems.
My mum found an iPod Nano with the hard drive in the gutter, and surrounded with a whole heap of porn videos of all things. And it worked all right.
Okay.
We reset
What
it.
the porn
So
videos?
you wipe that off after keeping copy? Of course.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
For
we
research.
I wiped it off and said, "Oh, sorry." Now, leaked photo shows dozens of iPhone 5C devices being tested. That was this photo. If you guys on the video I just put up just before. Now, I didn't. Do you reckon how many do you reckon they would test? What will they just test a batch, one out of every batch?
I think there looks like about 50.
Yeah, there's a few there.
But it looks like they test about 50, I would say.
They can't afford any
Per
more
batch of
lightning cables
1,000
than
or...
that.
Damn lightning cables.
Do you reckon they're just tested at random? Is that how they work their quality control? Tested at random, or they just, or
I think
they must be.
They're pretty strict and would test the hell out of every single thing.
Hmm.
As I was
Some of
saying,
the-
with the iPhone 5, it was so difficult to manufacture them perfectly that they had a huge number of rejects. So you wouldn't think that Apple would let one single phone out of the manufacturing rooms that wasn't 100% perfect.
And another little thing that looks like has been released early is the iOS 7 has also said will be launched on September 10. Now this has come from Nuance, the company which powers Siri speech recognition. Yeah,
I think what's happened there is Nuance have sent maybe you're privy to information, I don't know, but have sent an email out around their software. Obviously, they're Nuance known for their voice recognition software, suggesting that iOS 7 general release is going to be on September the 10th. So I guess that's adding fuel to the rumours around a September 10 launch.
How do you find Garth? How do you find Siri? Do you find it good?
Well, Siri, let's say the dictation aspect of it, I'm talking Nuance.
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Absolutely fantastic. On my iPhone 5, I don't quite understand this, actually. I've played with it on the Mini and the iPad before and not found it wonderful. It's okay. More time correcting stuff that it's spelt wrong and, that it's made a mistake on and not really used it. But I found since I've had the iPhone 5, it's absolutely it's amazing.
It's better.
So we're all on the same Apple account, same LTE connection or Wi-Fi connection. I'm not too sure why the iPhone 5 for me seems to be doing such a better job.
Yeah, do you find also that, well, I found that, when you can use the microphone function to, say, record your SMS or dictate your SMS,
Yes,
I found that was a lot better, a lot more more correct at identifying what I was saying than what Siri was doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you found that as well?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Has anyone else got any comments on Siri? Does it like or dislike? But that's
It doesn't like being called Google Glass.
No, I saw that your post on Facebook. so did you talk
I'm not Google Glass, and I'm fine with that.
What was the question? Was that your image? Or
I think that's what happens when you press the button, and then Siri goes beep beep, and you say, "Okay, Google Glass."
Oh, right.
She goes, I'm not Google Glass, and I'm fine with that.
Oh, I'll give that a shot. Hang on, let me have a go.
It has a few sarcastic remarks, doesn't it?
Yeah, I tried it today, but what had happened was it thought that the word, when you say the word Google, that it was asking you to Google search something, and so it says, "Okay, I'm going to do a Google search for the word glass for you."
All right, let's have a look. Hello, Google Glass.
Okay, Google
Searching
Glass.
Google for glass.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so searching for Google
Just-
for glass.
Just try OK Glass.
All right. We'll get it. Okay, glass.
Glass, I think you've got the wrong assistant, Glenn.
Oh, a live demo that works. How about that?
So there you go. She's not happy with that. Okay, glass.
You
Don't
have
talk
some
to me
better
about
ones
that,
as well.
bitch.
Apparently one that comes back and says, I think the glass is half empty.
I like the one where it's about, don't strap me to your head.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. We'll give her one more, and we'll go. Hang on. How do I get her back? No, hang on. She's gone. Here she comes. What do you think about Google Glass?
I'm sorry, Glenn. I'm afraid I can't answer that.
Anyway,
Being shy.
yeah, that's right.
I'm not answering that.
No way. All right, so so it looks like the iOS 7 could be out with all the other little goodies on September 10. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now, Apple planning to launch iPhone trade-in program. Who wants to have a chat about that one. What's that one all about? Warlock. You know about that one?
Well, I think that's a pretty good idea. You know, people change their iPhone so often. I always either sold it on to a friend or put it on eBay. The last one I had sold the iPhone 5 maybe 5 months after I had it, so I got quite a good price for it on eBay. I think that's a great place for you to go. And I also just thought of today I went to my Apple ID and unassociated all my old devices that were still associated with my account. So you probably want to do that if you're going to be selling or getting your stuff recycled, because somebody else is going to get it and you don't want them on your account, or vice versa. So yeah, I think that's a good way of doing things, provided they give you a good price for it. Otherwise, you know, eBay or Gazelle.
Is this going to... So it depends on what the discounted price is, doesn't it? Like, would you think it's going to be as... could you say as generous as, you know, you break your phone, you go and buy a new OEM sort of version without all the fancy box and everything? Like, do you think it's going to be that, like, say, the iPhone 5, when mine broke, I went in and they charged me $267, I think it was, for a replacement?
Yeah, usually get refurbished, right?
Yeah. So do you think that the prices will be, do you reckon they'll be similar, or do you reckon they'll be a bit higher? Because I'm only asking this question from the point of view that would this be making the telcos unhappy because possibly you're just updating your phone and maybe not joining another plan for another 2 years to get a new phone?
I don't think that would really bother Apple.
I think it'll make the recycling people happy.
Yeah, probably.
Go green!
Yeah, I don't think that the prices are going to be that attractive.
Because
and have we even had word if this is coming to Australia, or if this is a US thing?
It's not. I tried to have a look for that. I couldn't see that it specifically mentioned whether there was coming to Australia. What they did say, though, that with the old iPhones, they were going to refurbish them to sell them to, I guess, emerging markets. So Apple do get the double dip there, that they get the all of us folk onto a shiny new 5S, 5C, but it's not as though they're just getting a discount to move that new hardware. They are going to take the old hardware, arguably just polish it up a bit, put a new case on it, but the units are probably still good, that they're going to be able to move that on for a sale in a emerging market. So overall, they're going to be doing fairly well out of it.
Well, I think it's a good idea, because, like, I know my mum again, she's got a 4. And yeah, you can tell that it's starting to lag, and with iOS 7 coming out, it's probably going to lag quite a little bit more, So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
When she's watching her videos.
No, that was the iPod. Well, she might have transferred them. Who knows?
It plays those fine.
I need the wider screen.
Yeah, that's right. I need better sound. Now, all right. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea. At the end of the day, it's probably a good idea. Like, I know that rather than going into a new plan and committing to, what's the phone worth on a plan, you're paying all this MRO stuff, you're probably, you're probably paying quite a few hundred, more than the 267 anyway. So if it's anywhere around about that, do your sums, and I'm sure hopefully that it'll work out better. But whatever happened to that, to that universal charging system that they were bringing out? Has anyone heard about what happened to that? That sort of died.
In the UK, they were forced to release an adapter so that they can have the universal charging with all the phones, but they don't do it anywhere else. It was just a law that happened in the UK.
Okay. And how are you going over there, Garth? You got some low bandwidth. You all right?
Probably, Glenda.
Yeah.
I might have to turn your video off again.
Waiting for the NBN.
Yeah.
And Apple, how many more stories have we got? Oh, okay. We did touch on that glass one. I think, well, you must have put that in there. I didn't see that one there. Apple launches redesigned Apple Care website. Who has seen the new? Has anyone seen the new redesigned Apple Care website? That's what it looks like.
I haven't seen it. I've
Does anyone care?
Look, to me, the big thing
has
is
anyone actually used?
Oh, sorry.
Has anyone used any of Apple's support other than directly in store?
I used their website when I was asking some questions about some stuff before. I had a bit of a problem with my account or something, and they fixed it up through there.
Actually, I tell you what, I asked them a question, I rang them up, and they couldn't answer me. And they didn't know the answer to it. And my question was, how on eBay you get all these little adapters that go from, what is that, the 32 pin to the 8-pin or whatever it is from the normal connector, normal iPhone connector.
Yeah, 30-pin dock, to the Lightning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I wanted to get one of those adapters, and I rang him up and I said, well, all over eBay you can get them for about $2, right? But the problem with the eBay ones is that all they do is charge. They just adapt for the charging. They can't transfer video and audio. So I rang Apple up and I said, well, have you guys got one that'll do audio and video? And I'm not sure who answered the phone. I think it might have been the local Apple store. And they go, no, I don't know. We don't think so. They couldn't tell me anything about it, which I thought that would have been probably one of the more asked questions, but apparently not. But yeah, I don't know. Does anyone here?
The answer is yeah, it can.
So they got adapters that will do it.
Yeah, not all the current channels are supported. Not all the kinds of channels. The old 32-pin adapter had so many different ways of communicating, legacy ways of communicating, but not all of them are supported, but a lot of them are. But you need that chip in there to, actually do the transfer.
Yeah.
So where it becomes complicated is what you're converting from. Maybe it's a car connection kit or inbuilt into a car or a dock, depending upon what that is and what that uses, as Garth's saying, especially if it was reliant upon analog channels and things like that, that just isn't supported. So the answer is it depends. Yes, it will do a conversion, but depending upon what the device is will depend on what's supported. So just buy a new car for your once you got your iPhone 5. That way you'll be sure that it's going to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I see that there's a few devices coming out now with the adapter, so you can choose which one you want to use.
Yeah,
but that's good. That's all right. I don't mind the smaller one. Actually, it's good for me. Love it. Good.
I love it.
Yeah. All right.
The good thing I did see with that AppleCare website was the 24/7 live chat, and I do like that type of service, and especially since Telstra's had that, I have had great success dealing with Telstra through that method. That obviously you can take your time and come back and forth to them.
Yeah.
And also compared to the phone, I've always found more success in people that actually know what's going on that are doing the live chat than sometimes on the phone you sort of get people that don't really know what's going on so much. So maybe if they can operate a keyboard, they're putting the wires ahead doing the live chat support. So that's the way I don't like to talk to people. I don't like to go into a store. I want to sit on my computer and type people questions.
That's right. All right. Now, I'm just doing something here. Hang on. All right. Okay. Now, look, it's time for our listener question. And thanks to IT Help For You, as we previously mentioned at the top of the show, ithelpforyou.com.au, authorised Apple reseller, looking after everyone's repairs. Heaven forbid that those things ever break down. I don't think they break down. But you go there for go and see them for the new Macs, and the new iPhones. And after September 10, they're probably going to have an inrush of all the new goodies.
Have a line out the door.
That's right. I wonder if I have to ask Michael if he does have lines out the door like the Apple stores. I wonder if that goes over to the resellers as well. I don't know. We'll ask him. All right. Now, anyway, Paul from Coogee down there in beautiful Sydney. Now,
Coogee with three O's, I noticed. We must have a typo there in the show notes. That's a different Coogee.
That's a Coogee.
Apparently, the name comes from an Aboriginal word, Coogee, which means stinking place.
Stinking place?
Yeah.
As in stink?
Smelly?
Okay.
Okay.
Down near the beach there, maybe they had a lot of bad stuff wash up on shore.
Seagull poo and all that sort of stuff. All right, now anyway, Paul from Coogee, his question, does the mini Displayport HDMI play sound? Well, it would have to, wouldn't it? I don't know. Who could answer that one? Jason?
Indeed it does.
I would have thought so. Yes.
Yeah. So what Paul's written here is it looks like he's got a MacBook Pro and a MacBook Air. So good on Paul. And obviously newer ones from the mini Displayport. It looks like he wants to plug them into his HDMI connector on the TV to play some music videos. That sounds rather fun. So yes, it does on most later Macs, and in fact, being digital, up to 8 channels, in fact. So if you've got a Dolby Digital 5.1 soundtrack or something like that, that will certainly come through.
Wow.
Or maybe not through the TV, but if you're plugging into your receiver,
Yep.
that will work well for a movie or a Miley Cyrus video clip. Did anyone see that? Did anyone see the video?
Cannot unsee. Cannot unsee.
Yeah.
That was doing the Twitters. I had to have a look after all the Twitter comment on it. And
Is it any good? I haven't seen it.
No.
I missed it.
Yeah, I had to have a look.
Is she's in, I just read she was in a skin coloured bodysuit.
It was so tight that it was like 3 sizes too small, and the very lewd dancing she was doing just put so many people off there.
Suggestive acts, and then Alan Thicke came on and they did a version of Blurred Lines, and which is obviously already a fairly suggestive song. So
Now,
have a look.
yeah. Now, Jace, you must have answered this question here. This must have been one of yours because you've listed the computers that support multi-channel audio.
Yeah, I was before we were distracted by Miley. Paul will need to get himself a mini DisplayPort to HDMI adapter, obviously to get the right connections there. And I went to the Apple support site to look at the mini DisplayPorts on what computers support audio. So there were some, I'll put the links in the show notes. There are some older models very early on with mini DisplayPorts, probably pre-2010, that were video only. So anything in later times, especially I would say all MacBook Airs most probably support it, but we just dropped the model numbers in there. So it looks pretty much, if you're looking at MacBook Airs, MacBook Pros, 2010 and later. Yeah,
sweet. So what's the use for that? That's, I suppose, so you can play a movie on the machine and hook it into your TV? Is that what that's for?
Yeah, just through the one cable. So through HDMI, just to as you would for any other device, your Foxtel or your DVD player, to have the audio and video there.
Now here's a question without notice, and maybe I should send this one in for next week. We'll see how we go with the answering of it.
You could win yourself a $20 iTunes voucher, Glenn.
Well, that's right. So that's right. I forgot to mention that, didn't I? So write us in a question or do a little iTunes review. And look, I think this could be about the last one. So hurry up. And we'll do another $20 gift voucher iTunes. So send us a review, or do us a review on iTunes, or send us in a question, hey? And then you could be one of those lucky people. Ooh, yeah. But my question is, okay, so fair enough. Plug your computer into the HDMI port of your amp or whatever it is. Well, what about AirPlay? Will HDMI, will that go? Will these up to 8 channels go over into the AirPlay, into your Apple TV from your computer via AirPlay? Anyone know the answer to that? Or is that just too hard? We might look into that one.
Yeah, so you're talking AirPlay where you've got your OS 10 machine, so your iMac, MacBook or whatever, and you're doing AirPlay from the device to your Apple TV.
Which is then plugged in through HDMI.
I don't know for the audio. Certainly I know that if it was in your iTunes library, not a problem. Certainly 5.1 is supported, but playing, say, that same file
There's
over
a lot
AirPlay...
The iTunes part of the AirPlay protocol stack goes 2 channels encrypted with AES at 44,100 hertz.
So the answer is no.
Apple lossless codec.
So that is a no.
So it's just stereo only by the sounds, Warlock.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Instant questions here on the Aussie Mac Zone answered, just like that. I probably have got more questions about all that sort of stuff. Oh, look, what the heck, can I throw another one at you? Okay, so you download your video file from the iTunes TV programs or whatever. So say you download, they're MP4s? Would that be right?
Yeah.
So does MP4 support 5+1 audio channels?
Yes.
There you go. Good stuff.
That's maybe a topic we can go through on another day, the whole thing around containers and video codecs, etc. That's quite detailed. topic. But and to answer your question, yes, it is supported.
All right, good stuff. So, Paul, hope that answers your question. So, go out and buy yourself one of those cables and hook up away and get involved. Now, we've got cool things or picks and tips of the week. Now, whose is this tip? The right pad handwriting recognition for iPad. Whose is that?
I dropped that one in there. That was something that I saw and had a bit of a play with. So, as the name would suggest, it does handwriting recognition on iPad. So, if you either scratch away with your finger, which I tried to do when I was playing with it, or you have one of the funky styluses that's supported on the iPad, it does conversion of your scrawlings into text.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, as well, is it's got some shortcut symbols to perform actions. So if you're doing a return, space, deleting, etc., you can do some funky little actions to get things happening, so you're not having to press any buttons or do anything else with the application. You can do it all with your finger or stylus. Look, it's okay, I guess, and maybe it's also a reflection of my poor handwriting. That its error rate was reasonable, but to me, in the time I spent sort of stuffing around trying to write reasonably neatly with my finger, I could certainly type at that speed. So
okay.
For me, it was really more a bit of a novelty, or something to have a play with, and something I would seriously use.
Now, I notice here that it's $9.49 for the iPad and $4.49 for the iPhone. Any reason why is it because iPad's got a bigger screen?
The iPad's twice as big, so we can charge twice as much. Yes. That seems to be fairly common.
That's how it works. It's a bigger device. You can pay more.
Yeah, so they can. I think, look, if you can get the money,
well, yeah,
you can get it. And presumably, if there was something for the Mac, they would charge more again for something similar, because we can. I mean, if you look at
text expander.
Garth broke into song.
It sounded like you were singing then, Garth.
What?
Oh, you're already.
That's odd.
You got really low bandwidth tonight for some
Text
reason.
expander, for example.
Yes. Oh, okay.
is exactly like that. 5, 10, 20 or something like that.
Right. Warlock, is there any reason that you know of why these things are dearer? Is there more coding that goes into them, or is it just the way of the world that
Profit.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Fair enough. Because there wouldn't be much more coding, would there?
No, you can create any app so that it's universal, which is the whole point of creating apps for the Apple Store, is that it doesn't matter what size device you run on, it's been set up for that. And they set up, probably the first thing they'll do is do it for an iPad. And then you can create, if you want, it can auto adjust to whatever size device, or you can have a separate design for if it's running on an iPad device. So you might have, like, if you've got a Twitter app, you just have the current view of tweets on there. But if it's for an iPad, it also adds a list of people down the side and other options, that sort of thing. So it'll have a completely different interface, which is based on the original one, which is a very compact version. But the iPad one extends it to fill up the screen with some more options and things. It's very easy to do. But if people want to make a bit extra money, sell 2 different versions of it, one for the iPad, one for the other devices, and hope that everybody buys both of them.
Now, if you want to get a paid iOS app for free, well, you can, because every day I'll put one up on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads, and look, they vary in what they are. Sometimes there's games, sometimes there's productivity. Now, one of them that I saw the other day, now it's not the best game in the world, graphics wise, but I tell you, it takes you back to, remember the good old Atari? It's not the exact game, but remember was it Knight Rider or something, the game on the Atari? The very basic shapes, keep the car on the road. And instead of a joystick, you had paddles. They used to call paddles, the little wheel things that you turn.
So we're talking Atari 2600.
Or the one before, the original. Yeah, the original.
Flight to the dangerous world of a man who does not exist.
So, look, I got this one. I put this one up the other day just to give you an example of some of the games that you can get for free just by following us on the Facebook page.
Cool, vector graphics.
Yeah, it's cool. Now it's called. I don't even know what it's called. Hang on. Vector Runner. So Vector Runner, and it's not bad. It is quite addictive actually, and it's a simple one of those simple graphics. They're just little triangles on a road. Got to dodge them and all that sort of stuff, but it's not too bad. It's a great little game. Now look, it's probably not free anymore because you missed the free day. But anyway, it's still there if you want to go and have a look at probably a couple of bucks or something. But yeah, check it out. Check it out. And
I do have another tip.
Yes.
So where we're talking iTunes and iTunes gift cards, if you're not lucky enough to win one on Aussie Mac Zone, there's a website called giftcardsonsale.com.au if you guys haven't seen that. Mm-hmm. And the whole purpose of the website is to let people know where there are cards on sale. So with iTunes, you would never pay face value for your iTunes gift cards. So they're always on sale somewhere. And this site, whilst it is gift cards on sale, is predominantly iTunes gift cards. And right at the moment, they're 25% off at Big W until Wednesday, September 4th. So nice. Two $20 iTunes gift cards for $30.
Nice.
And Maya have 20% off until the 1st of September. My rule of thumb is you would never want to buy cards where you're not saving at least 20%. 25%'s nice. That sort of comes now and then. The best I've seen is 33%. There was some at one time.
That's when I got the TomTom app for the iPhone. When I had it, I waited till I could get 33%. You only pay 2/3 of your cost. Yeah, especially when it's $60. You only pay $40. Sweet. Where you go. I follow. That's a really good site. I follow them on Twitter, so I get the updates.
Yeah. That Big W one just came out today. Woolworths also have 20% off at the moment. So I would say, kids, always look at that site and never go out there and pay face value. Always look to. I'd always look to save at least 20%.
But that goes
load up your
the account.
Online account.
Now, iTunes gift cards, do they expire? That's my little pet hate. Do they expire, or as soon as you get them, you chuck them in?
So though, I probably spend them too quickly to.
Oh, hang on, Garth. Sorry, you just break up then, Garth. What did you say?
Yeah, I was just saying, but I think so. To get them onto your account, register them onto your account.
Right.
Yeah, I think once onto your account, which Garth's saying, I think then it's just like credit on your account.
Right.
I don't see why or how that would expire. Look, they're good for everything except for hardware. So anything, books, TV shows, movies, music, and obviously apps for iOS and the Mac.
Yeah, because what I ask is I know that my wife, she goes around and because we got the T-Box, for example, and you can, like, people win things, like people win the cut gift cards, or people will win movies from Telstra, through the T-Box and all this sort of stuff. So, yeah, you can get them. You can get, like, the movie vouchers for half price if and you're on the right site, maybe even eBay. Things I'm not sure what site she goes on to off the top of my head, but I know she does it. But she does get the code, she punches it into the T-Box, but they still expire, But I think any credit in the T-Box expires, I think maybe 12 months or something, which I reckon is pretty poxy. I don't enjoy that sort of thing. I think that your credit should last if you've paid cash for it.
Yeah, I just checked all of the Apple forums, and everyone's saying they don't expire ever.
Oh, good.
Hooray for Apple.
Yes.
Well, but for everybody else, I think they made about $20 to $40 billion over the last few years in cards that expired, and the company just gets to keep the money, right?
That's right. That's right.
Ever watched Dilbert? There's a fantastic episode on Dilbert where he doesn't know what to get his mum for a present, so he gets her a gift card, and Dogbird is saying, well, that's even worse. Oh, no, Dilbert was actually saying to somebody else, because they were saying to get a gift card, he said, well, it's worse than giving them cash because you can only use it in one place and it has an expiry date on it. So why would you do that?
Yes. We'll try Garth, see if he's come back from the Cylon camp. Have you got any tips, Garth, this week? Have you downloaded any apps that you particularly enjoyed?
The only thing, am I coming through firstly?
Yes, yeah, patchy, but we can get.
The only
We've
thing
got
that I'm using at the moment is Bitcaster. So Bitcaster is a Dropbox-like thing that allows you to, when you add files to it, for those files to actually leave your Mac.
Right.
So on my MacBook Air, I've got 128 gig hard drive. That's the SSD. So having an infinite storage, like cloud storage, so like Dropbox basically, but when I put a file to that folder, it actually just uploads and is online. It's off the Mac, so it frees up space on my Mac.
With limited devices with limited hard drive space or flash memory space, is it? Whereas the other ones, you have to have a copy on every machine of everything that you're syncing. Except, there is stuff like SkyDrive, well, whatever it's going to be called, where you can pick certain directories, but that you want to sync, but they're going to be on every device. Whereas this one that Garth's talking about, you put something in there and uploads it to the cloud, and it's gone from the computer. So you've always got a permanent storage of it. And you can get it back when you want to, but it's not taking up your small space.
Good stuff. All right. And did you have anything, well, like while you're there, anything exciting that you wanted to, any tips or apps that you've downloaded this week that you thought were particularly interesting?
Nothing in particular this week.
Cool. All right, so that's just about it for us. Another episode is just about in the can. So you can reach me, Glenn, at aussiemaczone.com.au, and you can get me on the Twitter at Aussie Techheads. Jace, where can we find you on the interwebs?
On the interwebs, Jason at aussiemaczone.com.au, and on Twitter at Jason Wormsley, and maybe look on the show notes for that spelling.
And don't forget, the show notes are at the website, aussiemaczone.com.au, and also the video of the latest of the current show is on the front page of that aussiemaczone.com.au. So there's heaps of stuff. Don't forget the radio. You remember? I don't think I spoke about that tonight, but it's Aussie Tech Radio, this.com, this show, and plenty of others. A new show called, I'm not sure what it was called, but it's a gaming show. So go and have a listen to that. It's finally in the playlist. All right, Warlock, where can we find you?
Warlock at aussiemaczone.com.au and at Warlock on Twitter, WAULOK.
And Garth, where can we find you?
Well, Garth at aussiemaczone.com.au or iBlindTech on Twitter.
Yes, and Garth, you have got some little podcasts in the Aussie Tech Radio as well. You got your iBlindTech and coolblindtech.coms, if I remember correctly. How are they going, Garth? Are they going good? Hopefully better than
they are, but
Skype. All right.
Stay tuned. We'll come back next week. Everybody, hold on. We'll get the answer next week.
Maybe Garth will have to go old school. Get a GPO box. You can write to Garth.
Release the pigeon. All right. All right. Well, that is
flying monkey.
That's right. That is the end of the show. So we thank you all for downloading or watching, listening, however you get us. Thank you, and thanks to the lounge every Tuesday night 7:30. AussieTechheads.com.au/live. Big thanks to everyone. All right. See you next week. See you guys. See you guys.
Bye.
Warlock.
Hey, boys.
Everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.